The Associated Press released its college football rankings for the coming season. First rankings of the year, of course, the preseason rankings. 3 of the top 10 teams are not playing this year. Ohio State, Penn State, and Oregon. 9 of the top 25 teams, 9 of the ranked teams are not playing. And it does beg the question, with Ohio State sitting at number 2 in this preseason poll, should no teams go unbeaten? Does Ohio State make the playoff? They put Ohio State in the playoff. You know, it might depend on what happens in the SEC championship game. Could the Big Ten get 2 teams in? If everybody else loses a bunch of games, could they get Ohio State and Penn State in? I don't mean to laugh because there's obviously nothing funny about this, but I don't really know what to say about the fact that they released a top 25 in which there are 9 teams who have announced they aren't playing. So I'm not being critical of the AP. I don't know what the right decision is. I'm not sure who exactly makes that decision, but at some point they had to say, so do we want to include the teams that aren't playing or not in our rankings? I can't tell you this was the wrong thing to do, but it doesn't feel right, does it? Am I the only one who thinks it looks ridiculous to release preseason rankings and have Ohio State the number 2 team in the country when everyone knows they're not playing? And they announced that 2 weeks ago? So anyway, that's about as 2020 a sports story as there has ever been and will ever be. And I sort of feel like, I don't know why it makes me want to laugh, but it makes me want to laugh. And I don't apologize for that because sometimes you have to laugh in the middle of all this. I mean, so much of it is just so awful. It's been such a difficult and challenging year in so many ways that every once in a while, if something strikes you as funny, I don't think there's anything wrong with finding it funny. And I feel terrible for the kids at Ohio State, who I thought should have and could have beaten Clemson last year and might have won the national championship if they had. Ohio State got 21 first-place votes. They just sent me a note. Terrific crew I have working over here. Nuno and Bubba and Cliff and Little Ray. Ohio State got 21 first-place votes. Little Ray, a.k.a. Cuffy. That's an inside joke on the Get Up staff. Anyway, Ohio State got 21 first place. When exactly do they make these votes? Like, that's what I'd like to know. So here's the thing. I am not an Associated Press voter. I was offered a Heisman vote. The people who decide who gets a Heisman vote offered me one a million years ago, fairly early in the Mike and Mike days, and I turned it down. I said I don't feel like I should be voting because I feel like that vote should matter, and you should only give it to people who watch tons of games every weekend, and I am one. I like college football. I love college football, but I don't watch every game every week. I don't study it, so I didn't think that I was an appropriate person to have a vote for something as important as I consider the Heisman Trophy to be. I certainly am not a voter for the Associated Press, but I can tell you right now that if I were and they asked me to cast my ballot, I would definitely not put Ohio State in it, even though I think they might have been the best team in the country. With Justin Fields, who might have played his way into the number 1 spot. I guess in theory might still be. But the point of it is, it just kind of takes all of the steam away from the preseason rankings when Ohio State, Penn State, and Oregon are in the top 10, and they've already announced they're not playing. Thank you for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.